well, let's take a look at Icebox Agent Select. Of course, BBL, they've played this map a lot compared to Heretics this stage. And so far, there is nothing weird.
Unless Heretics lock in. Is the Miniboo pick here? Because Wu is on Jet, like not Miniboo.
Surely he does the Omen thing, no? Does he do the Omen thing?
Omen would make sense, but why is he hovering?
Why does Crashy's hover raise?
That's more ridiculous. We know that that's not ever happening.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling this is real.
You think this is real? Okay, we'll find out in just a moment. It is real. All right.
I quite like this. I mean, Heretics are always good when they bring something new, and they've had some weeks to cook. And Euro on Icebox is something that people aren't used to, and so they're going to have some tech here.
Yeah, I think as well that we have said that Team Heretics leaning into that double duelist has been a strength for them throughout this stage. So yeah, BBL are going to have to put up a fight for them to pick into this map.
Oh, I love it when things get weird on Icebox, and I can't wait to see what your casters for this series think about this. Over to you, Hazza and Cairo.
Belief is everything for BBL. It was the belief that they could break into the playoffs after a step back that they could stay there. And now the belief that with this international lineup, they'll follow in the footsteps of the same path that those in front of them did 1 year ago.
The thing is though, Hazza, with Heretics, they need to go on and win here to qualify for champions. For BBL, they have to exercise the worst demon of all, Team Heretics, a team that they have not beat all year. And well, they start on a map that they were able to beat Heretics on last time out.
That's exactly it. A string of 2-0s up until the first group game, the initial setback that I spoke of, which now lands us in the third upper bracket semi-final between these two teams in 2025. BBL beginning on the defense as they did, registering an 11-1 last time out. A lot of those rounds, Levin, the conduit, immediately trying to channel something here, but caught by Miniboo. And almost immediately, Heretics have the sort of answer they were looking for.
Two players making their way through the A side of the map, and it's only Magnum here all alone. Sure, Yampi's getting close to support him. All the bodies of Heretics are starting to combine their forces here. This looks like where the execute is going to come through, and Yampi gets caught out by Benji.
Magnum had a lights-out series against his former club yesterday, but you're asking so much of him here. 5 players on the other side, looking to take the timing. Spots the first, takes the second, and hang around a little longer than Heretics would have liked. Rotation is late from Profek. All eyes on Sociable as it stands. Once the lineup gets it, and it's a 1 versus 1.
It's against Profek as well, a player who's been so good all year.
And out he comes from the rafters! BBL able to undo the impossible in the pistol round.
Screams all round for BBL, and it was a round where, let's be honest, they had no chance, no right of winning. The entries from Heretics were spot on, but BBL, as they always do, push the envelope. Let's go! And it's through individuals that win that round.
A double from everyone asked, put under the microscope and succeeding. The initial threat of Levin was handled brilliantly by Heretics through Miniboo specifically, who makes up this 1-2 punch, the double duelist, which we've seen them play on multiple maps. Coming into Icebox, that was the question. Were we going to see it in the veto? We know that the 2 weeks following that defeat to BBL on this one, that it was the insta-ban, that Corrode then pivoted later on.
Levin's only got a marshal here, and there's 4 bodies heading his way.
B-side does feel very empty except for him, but it's Levin. The stature comes through the kills and the shooting, but that flick is a little bit too much. The shock dart onto Rians, it's not the spike plant denied or the life taken.
Miniboo's picked up the marshal, so yeah, let's not count this round out just yet. A brilliant shot onto Profek.
Absolutely, flank was considered for just a moment, but there doesn't feel like all too much time to make this a reality for BBL. Yampi reloading gives away the Q. 2 players pushed up on him.
Yeah, and he's already got the second. Yeah, doesn't realise. And Rienz is going to be able to pick up that Bulldog. The trade's working through for BBL at the moment. And well, Sociable straight on to the spike. Boo denies it. And with 41 points of health, all he wants to do is try and play upset. Doesn't want to allow Magnum to fully defuse, and he needs to be careful, or it's going to be a Team Heretics eco on the second round.
Such a big Red Bull clutch. And Boo, the face of the resistance again in these tough spots that Heretics have found themselves in. Always leading in that stat line, but the bigger picture is it's another anti-eco round lost by BBL, the third now. In the last couple of days, we saw it be a problem against Fnatic, and where they were unpunished there, it was the first win that they picked up against a top 3 team less than 24 hours ago. You're asking a lot for them to come into this game and repeat the same kind of effort. But if you can't convert from those situations, then your chances are slim.
Still see BBL looking to try and test the limits of this attacking line. Magnum all the way down tube. BBL starting to send reinforcements towards this B side, Levin being one of them.
I'd like to overload the space when they have the information. We know BBL very aggressive, proactive, taking that space. Yampi's now checked out of A. Magnum caught in transition, so all focus on the players on site, and well, Profek has one. It's not eased up the pressure all too much. Still though, Heretics biding their time, not happy to execute just yet.
They have the option to escape towards that A side of the map if they really want to. BBL now have all 3 remaining players towards this side. That shot, unluckily, doesn't take out Miniboo, but he only has a Marshal, so that's not really one of the main players that you want to find.
30
Now
seconds
Heretics do elect to take up that A site option. Lots of ground still for them to cover with the time bank wearing thin. Resource they're starting to run out of. BBL making the same move, and Yampi's won the foot race. Still has a shot here to interrupt.
Yeah, that he does, but that Molly's going to deny him any further space. Shock in, but won't be able to get that classic out in time. Benji's done well to protect the spike, and Team Heretics do well to get out of a tricky round.
Heads above the waterline for now. If you're Heretics, the majority of the guns reserved from the previous round as we head into the rifle. Sort of building up on this idea of Heretics heading towards Champions as the favourites here, you have to think, looking at the map pool, this isn't one which they'll have to consider later on. Icebox will be removed for Abyss, and that makes you wonder if they have the best possible opportunity heading into that event with the current pool that we're setting up for.
I would agree. I mean, Heretics are starting to go from strength to strength like every week, right? And the fact that, I mean, a lot of people are starting to regard Heretics and EMEA as the best. I mean, you could argue that Team Liquid are obviously going to be there to challenge that. Maybe we get to find out who actually is the best in the upper bracket final, depending on who wins the next couple of matches. But as for now, for me, Heretics probably have the best map pool in the region at the moment.
Yeah, and even with Corrode being that initial ban that we'd seen from them, it's not a huge difficulty, I suppose, right? You had the slightly weaker half on the attack there, as many teams troubleshooting it did. But yeah, I would like to see more of that Waylay in the future. It was a nice idea that they brought to the table there, but at least back into Icebox now we head. Not too much remodeling has been done, but it was always the execution of their game plan which they really struggled with when you look back historically, and some of the issues with the Toronto run as well.
Our first rifle versus rifle round, the one where we get a good glimpse of how the rest of this match is going to go. Sociable looks to deny any more info on that B long as Heretics apply the pressure.
And this is a key area of the map that we'll have to keep focusing on throughout the game. B long. BBL like to get this line control later into the round to give themselves a little bit more presence, and the same can be said for Levin on pipes right now. These are the extremities they're constantly looking to try and challenge, and with this proactive reclear, the drone used by Yampi, to gut that one out, BBL should have the read that Heretics are going for the A-pop.
5 bodies ready for 11 up high. He's going to be the first to try and take that challenge of a gunfight. Heretics last time the pattern was towards where 11 is looking, but this time they're up close and personal. A close quarters engagement where 11 sees the barrel, doesn't capitalise. Too many bodies to try and hit, but it's Prophet and Magnum who come out on top. Still, we end up evening out at a 2-on-2.
Back into the retake. Those two players involved in the B mid round now have to make their reprisal. Shot can delay for a little bit longer from Yampi, and it's a very reserved plant that Heretics end up with. Benji still on 2 mollies though.
Not a lot of utility to try and come back in with, but instead Yampi's rifle's good enough. Boo now knows exactly where the silver player is, but doesn't know about the second. That's why he's worried about screens, but the spam is good enough, and so is Yampi. BBL will even out the round count.
An important round for them to win to keep themselves in this one, not let it get too far adrift. In terms of the site hold, Prophet does so well to find the second kill here with the util caught out. Miniboo, I think you can perhaps put a bit of focus on him there, perhaps not finding that one, but from the 2 versus 2, I'm surprised that Benji plays such an aggressive off angle when there was utility available, but that's the choice that you make, and against BBL, a double-edged sword always.
Yeah, I mean, you know that they want to take the engagements. Think about how they played against Fnatic yesterday. They were playing at a different level of aggression, it felt.
Now coming into the next round, the follow-up, a big swing in terms of economy for both. There are ults in play. Heretics have the Yoru ult and also the Hunter's Fury, so they should be looking to try and combine this if possible, but Miniboo's only just spotted his first target. It's a little late and should end up a true 5v5 retake.
Hunter's Fury ripped straight away, not going to be used to try and deny a lockdown. And, well, body's being hit. Magnum gets the next. It's still an advantage towards BBL, and it continues to be. The lockdown denied on Benji Fishing. Oh, what a spam!
Okay, and that makes things interesting. 2-on-2. Yampi not wanting to overpeak for a moment, but Heretics piled ults into that round. A couple more missed shots from Miniboo, a little unfortunate the start to this game for him. However, BBL played for the straight-up flood. And now here, I wonder what the reaction is. It looks like they are going to split up and search for Heretics, who are currently slowly making their way towards B.
Yeah, I think with the way that Heretics are moving towards this B side, it's allowed BBL to get there first, right? And Yampi does have that info dart. And time's getting low.
30 seconds left.
Commanding position from Levin as well, regardless of which site it ends up being. He's ready for the flank, but of course we know now it is B. With Heretics arriving on spot, Yampi knows it. The information makes its way back to Levin, who's approaching from behind as quickly as his legs may carry him. The recon has denied the spike plant. Still Levin undetected. Rian's committing to it out in the open, Turk on Turk. The peak taken by Levin, and that's the round win for BBL.
Really big from Yampi to deny the initial spike plan on B. A nice flood from BBL on A. The call's a little bit, the call's good, but I mean the play chaotic. It works out in the end.
Yeah, here's still so much work done by the Anchors. It was another utility mistiming, although this time Miniboo the one unfavored and loses from that position.
Maybe show 3D next time, Rians! Good support, almost!
Yampi's showing him how it's done. Perhaps that unclaimed throne of best in EMEA is one that he'd like to pry from his hands.
Perhaps. Well, big conversation point though is the ultimates, and that's where we need to look at. Both sides have a Viper's Pit and a lockdown. Obviously, the lockdown being the biggest counter to that Viper's Pit as Heretics try to brute force their way through B. But where's Miniboo? He's all the way in at Snowman.
Yeah, TP lineup into the back line, now sending another one towards yellow, and he's back with the rest of his team. Like a thief in the night, BBL have had one of their biggest assets to these retakes taken away. Prophet's still alive, and of course there are ults to fall back on here, but Heretics want to use some of their own.
Yeah, it looks like Magnum's trying to get it half very quickly, and he's done it. And BBL have got a couple of picks off the back of it. Yampi on the flank just misses out on re-end. What is going on?
Everyone's detained.
And now only one player onto the spike. Prophet caught out and the other two come online. Levin with the blades, drops into the back line, catches players off guard, but Boo's there and wins the round.
Absolute chaos on the B site. Benji investing his own lockdown as he attempted to do so only a round prior. And with a mixed investment, the BBL buy is broken. It's cut so fine. But when we look at the micro play here from Miniboo and just how every individual on Heretics can be the playmaker, that's ultimately what's won it for them. And taking a step back with this being BBL's pick and already seeing that Heretics are at the races today where they weren't previously, you do start to get a little bit concerned.
Look at BBL once again, being the protagonist in this round, as Yampi's so deep in jail and no way out as Wook goes to clear him out. Levin's there for the trade, and BBL still keep that advantage.
Something that they improved on massively from series to series against Heretics was being able to build on those advantages, and in this round, coming in with next to nothing, hoping that Profec's pick could guide Heretics into the A stack.
I have the spike.
They have obliged up until now, but Profec's still hanging around in the garage, and Rians will be the first to clear him with this drone.
Deploying drone.
Prophet needs to be careful, deny the information, which he does so successfully. And that's big bits of utility that hasn't found the value for Heretics. They're going to try and go for a different approach and in behind enemy lines through mid.
BBL with an opportunity to recover some of this weaponry in the meantime, though, on the A site as Heretics are making their way over towards B. Profec barking like a caged dog as the drone spots him, and still signposting a lot of authority on B long. In the meantime, Rians has found himself in a whole host of trouble.
So much space. Oh, wait a minute.
Step.
Magnum held and Rian's there. Spike will go down, an opportunity to take more space for Heretics, but Levin's there to get the trade, and now 3 versus 2 in favour of BBL.
Numbers and that positioning that I was talking about. Profec still safeguarding long.
Now, still Benji in towards Kitchen, looking to be the one that's going to be a win condition. Boo found out and under pressure, can't keep himself alive, and now it's up to Benji Fishy. A player who historically has been good for a clutch, comes up once again. Only Levin to try and deny. He's at crouch, waiting for the player to peek him, but tries to get the spiked half at least. Benji needs to peek out. Levin knows this, waiting for the opportunity for the fight and gets it. Is there enough time for Levin? There certainly is.
And I never thought there would be. But BBL have a pay safe card, Thrifty. Benji taking a couple swings at it. I felt like the plant wasn't the best for the situation, but the bigger picture is BBL setting up this round for success. Prophet doing so well to keep hold of the V-long space. It's a bold and valiant attempt from Benji, but a sigh of relief in the end.
And I think as well, coming into this first map, what BBL needed was Levin to have a great first map, right? Yeah. Yesterday, really lackluster on that road, and iSpot, he looks absolutely brilliant. Team Heretics start the same opening on towards the A side, and there's bodies here for BBL.
It was night and day from the rookie. Like I said at the start, mirroring very much of the same story Heretics had for themselves last year, minus the international appearances, of course. Already, Miniboo has found an opening kill towards A. A freeze, a pause in play, not something you see too often between these two. It's been very entertaining up until this point, and now you're thinking about the mid-rounding for BBL, and Yampi's position on B as he should be looking to clear out the space and does.
Does. Heretics though waiting for their chance, and well, footsteps being given away and the utility now coming in, but there's players sitting in key corners. Sociable's just burning away in the molly, hoping that he doesn't get cleared, and I think he's just going to die here. He is! Didn't try to move. 11's got 2 of his own, and it's just Sheriffs left on this site as Profit and Yampi try to pick up the round. Undetected. Profit through the back of sight, Benji peeks out, manages to keep himself away from Profit's crosshair and does a 1 versus 3 for the captain now. And he knows there's too many angles to try and approach.
So many players to clear out. Benji's wrapped around.
And sees the head, wins it out. I don't think the players are in the right spot here. From the long angles, yeah, sure, reveal, but Yampi has a spot in which he can sit in comfortably. The shot good, and Rhea and Sheriff better. We go all even once again.
Another eco round! Heretics had a hero rifle in the hands of Miniboo. That was the key in their ignition. The one that got it started. Fantastic flick. And people will look at this from Sociable and call it into question, but sometimes that's the play you have to make. He's hoping that the duration of the molly, it does kill you fully if you sit in it the whole time, funnily enough. But
no
he's hoping
way.
that he gets the element of surprise on a player pushing. It's unfortunate, it does look silly, but that was the rationale.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that one to us, Hazard.
No worries. I advise anyone watching at home, you do not molly yourself. But Levin with Blades and Sociable having an opening pick untraded. This is starting to head in a very similar direction, one we've got familiar with.
Is the Sheriff's had a buff? Because it feels like it. Levin's Blades have missed the first couple of shots here. Heretics still look to slow roll their way through the round. Benji Fishy deposited on the other side of the map to the main push.
Gun here.
Yampi finding himself on the opposite extremity to the bulk of the Heretics forces, so his information tool's valuable. Inspired here, and this is the re-engage. Levin with the Blades already taken offline, Woot with his first in the Jet head-to-head. BBL still with precious stocks on B and precious Killjoy utility. Towards A.
The thing is though, BBL trying to deny that push have burned through a lot of their own utility.
Yeah.
So now it's really just the KG setup on A to deny and delay Team Heretics.
30 seconds left.
First volley already opened, the second to follow it. Rian's shock darting the site to make any further clearance, but we've hit the 20-second mark, and now time starts to become a bit more of an issue. BBL looking to dissuade this one with their numbers.
No way.
2 shots from Yampi! Clean as you like, but still more required. 10 seconds now. Magnum in backside. Entrenched in this position with Sociable in support. Needs the quick trade on Boo as it's a 1v1. Has the time to stick the plant. Sociable wants to deny. He can't. Pulls off. And Sociable! With 3 in the end, and Boo felt like he had time to find the firefight, which he loses.
I can't believe BBL are managing to win these. I can't believe both teams have been able to win these rounds. Boo left in a difficult decision. Do a fight or do a commit to the plant spot. BBL do well with the delay. I was worried with the amount of utility that they used on that B side of the map, but it feels like 2 professional boxers just being able to dance around each other in the ring.
So another pay safe card 3D. Certainly getting their money's worth here. And
take flight.
From that situation too, the discipline shown by Sociable to overcommit.
Feels weird as well, right? I mean, Hunter's Fury ripped here and Benji will get caught, but with the double duelist, you'd be expecting Heretics to have maybe a bit of faster pace.
Gonna give it a go towards B at the very least. Woot, the equalizer. 4-on-4 as it stands, but BBL very quick to take up position to make the most of where they stand. 2 bodies sightwards. Yampi has his reveal again. This time it is broken.
Ooh, vulnerable up in Milk. Looks like BBL have got a shooting gallery to work with. Miniboo left to try and collect the spike as well. Next engagement goes Profec's way and BBL's.
Finally, order restored.
Show me where to go.
BBL with a 6th and an advantage on the half, but it pales in comparison to what we saw the last time these two faced. And Heretics should be feeling confident in the side switch that they've already done a decent job, but there is a foundation, one which needs to be built upon. And for that reason, the coaching staff checking in with the rest of their team first time out of the game is on the attack side.
Yeah, I mean, around about this time, what was Heretics' 2nd time out this time? It's just the first, and there's a lot of players who are playing well in the server, and the big one right now is obviously Profec.
Had to be him, the little professor, as he is known, taking his name from his father and doing him amongst everyone else in the BBL community very proud. It's these kind of games, though, where you want to see him step up, and that's what we finally got in the Fnatic game yesterday as well. It would be hard for me to say that he was absent in the previous matches between the two teams, because that isn't the case, but it was him and then who else? Now we're getting Levin involved. We had a huge series from Magnum yesterday. Yampi, Sociable, all of the names need to be firing on every single cylinder.
And this is what we were talking about yesterday in the Fnatic game about BBL. They need the perfect storm for this playoff run. And if they want to make it all the way to champs, Heretics, the team that they haven't beat this year, and we know that. BBL were able to win Icebox against Heretics last time. Can they do it once again to at least put themselves into a good position to win out the series?
Yoru ult is up in this round for Miniboot. Heretics revisions and current meta read in vogue. BBL a little more tried and tested, but falling back on this double controller. They have lines of defense, the first of them, Profek, succeeding. Miniboot still not having the best of times opening this A site. Not against Profek, that is.
Yeah. Heretics still worrying about where BBL could be, conditioning that they are in ratty corners and always pushing that envelope, but it's long lines of sight they've opted for this time.
Next player up should be Wu. We saw a similar outcome in the previous round when Heretics went 5 versus 4. This one attempting to be opened up with a set piece from the timeout, and now BBL start to investigate themselves. Pre-fire through the jail, but it's Sociable who cracks down! 3 players removed and sent their marching orders. BBL set up for the 7th into the next rifle. I said it was going to be Wu. It has to.
No other option,
30
right?
seconds left.
I don't think he's got any ways of escape realistically here to save that rifle. And you look at it, the economy for Heretics, it's completely broken after this. 4 players on 0
I got the spike.
and Woot on 50.
That's literally the least amount of money I think I've ever seen the team have. Every single credit spent. But ults to fall back on, right? We didn't see those invested. It will have been one of the major talking points of the timeout, and Woot is within 2 players here. The problem is they're nowhere near him, and there just isn't enough time.
That's from the
Last
blades
round in the
up
half.
from as well,
Lose everything after
which
this.
allows for him to chuck a rifle across to another player and bring out something in which Heretics can work with for this last round.
Yeah, it's a nice idea here from Heretics to start things up. You're looking at the maps that we've got coming up in the veto as well, especially Haven if we go the distance. A lot of their attack is built off of those micro plays, the synergy that they've created between this lineup now, which has spent so much time together. But this is the final opportunity to make a dent, to lead a 5th round on BBL's record, and here are the ults.
Straightforward, trying to get through, and it's obviously the Yoru to clear things out. Trade still coming through. It's still equal on both sides. And it looks like Heretics have managed to rescue a Guardian there, so the weaponry not looking too bad for the attack.
Look at the tools BBL have. It's both of those controllers and the Sentinel still alive.
You should run.
Toxin's up. You expect the lockdown here. You want to fight it.
Profit sticking around, looking to take early lines of sight, but time now getting low. Maybe stuck around too long. His Profit's now going to get caught offline. Is able to at least get his opposite number. So no more smoke screen. And Sociable towards the backlines.
In behind, up on belt.
Yep, here he goes. Swings out. Benji's aware of it. And now so are Heretics. Pushed into Magnum. A great series yesterday and a great challenge right now, which he's up to. That will be it for BBL and a considerable lead into the second half.
Magnum knows what it means to make it to international events, so he shoulders the weight of the Heretics push. Their last chance on the half goes amiss. And while BBL's lead may not be as commanding as it had been before, it's nothing to turn your nose up at.
Yeah. But let's hear Yampi's thoughts on what it means for him to lead BBL all the way to Champions Paris.
Qualifying for champs would be a big step for me. I think last year when I missed. It was the first year I missed the international things, and I think I didn't appreciate it enough the previous years, because I was in champs for 3 years in a row, and it kind of felt the norm. And missing it last year kind of made me appreciate the journey towards the champs. What do you need to do before the champs and to qualify there, and what it actually takes to be a top team and qualify there. And that's, I think, what's been a really big thing for me this year, that I kind of realized that it's not always granted, and you shouldn't take these opportunities as granted. And that's why I try to enjoy every playoff game, every match that we have on stage. I just try to enjoy it as much and do my best.
Those 3.5 years spent on Liquid, shaping Yampi into the leader that he is today. When we first saw him in a BBL jersey, it was a shock to the system for a lot of people, but this is someone who's always had a competitive mindset, from being an ice hockey player in his younger years, fitting so well with the coaching staff of PAL, his rugby background. He's driven more than anyone to want to take them there, and knows exactly what that means.
Yeah, and while it is so close, it can feel so far, right? Yeah. You lose here today, you have to go into that lower bracket and essentially play for the top 4 that BBL are looking for. And that is going to eventually lead up to maybe playing against your Navis or your Vitalities, who are your direct rivals for that champion spot.
For BBL, it's been when and if, but never is. Right on the edge of top 4, those qualification spots, be it Bangkok, Toronto, and now Paris. This would finally plunge them into the top cut. Onto the attack side, another pistol could be everything, but Woot is right under their nose and swiftly removed. Rian's the only one in the feed right now. One of those few sheriffs that Heretics do have.
Yeah, the BBL swarm hasn't stopped, and Magnum just standing up for the next engagement.
Backs off. Bated breath. BBL move into post. Still Boot, late to arrive, and the captain on the other side has stuck the dart to the chest.
Spike planted.
One of the retaking players.
No utility for the defense either, so this is just straight up gunfights.
And BBL really just want to get right in and amongst it, puff their chest and show a bit of swagger in this situation. Lined up towards spawn side, it's ill-advised. Benji at the double. Sheriff finding value. Yampi in striking range on a couple of these targets. He's got all 3, and out of the hat, BBL plucked another pistol round.
And well, if BBL can stop losing anti-eco rounds, they'll find double digits off the back of this win. It's a big if. And I mean, that's the thing right now. BBL moving in towards this playoff run. I personally feel like they've reached another level in terms of how they're playing off one another. Not maybe the macro aspect, but certainly like the micro, right? How you combine with each other, and the trades have just been sublime.
Feels so simple to say, but it's that stage confidence that takes time to build. Yampi, the only player that went positive when they faced in kickoff. That's definitely a silver lining. Woot getting one there, but as I was saying, everyone else just requiring those repetitions, but you're seeing it now.
And I think this is a big thing from the head coach of PAL, right, and what he's been able to implement since then. I mean, you think of the improvements since he's taken the reins, was able to actually win a map off Heretics, and I mean, arguably you could say, could have won the series. You think of that sunset, 13-11 and how close it got.
Just going through the motions here as Heretics, they have one pistol on Rians, and actually, that has pushed the boat out. Minimal returns here for BBL, just a couple rifle save, but Yampi has the Hunter's Fury coming into the rifle, and to finish the discussion that you were having there, I completely agree. We had some really close series between these two in the past, but BBL have just never been able to deliver that final bullet.
Nice!
Icebox feels like a necessity in this veto, honestly, and from seeing how Heretics are feeling about their ascent, especially Haven, best in the region, there is a long way to go for now. But into this one, the ult online, as I said, for BBL, and looking to maybe make a play off it immediately.
Yeah, and they've also bought into this round. This is looking like it could be a pretty dangerous one for Heretics. They need to be careful, and look at how aggressive Heretics right now are being up B long as the push comes in.
It's Levin to lead the line as he so often does. 2 smokes floats through, sociable by his side. Profek in behind, but a little too late to undo the damage. Tag Woot middle in the meantime, but BBL stalled out of this A push.
Yeah, need to try and recover the round. A player down, sure, Woot's taking a bit of damage. All the way down to 33 points of health, but Heretics have the information that they need, and Woot up close and personal in Garage. BBL go through mid.
Light on his feet, and this is precious real estate for Heretics into the late round. Mid being controlled by the Killjoy utility, so a step out into the snow pile will not go undetected.
Turret being destroyed, allowed Magnum all the way up into kitchen. He's going to get a plant all the way up, right?
30 seconds left.
And this is a difficult one to try and get onto if you're Heretics. The lines of sight that BBL will be able to control, and the fact that they have that extra map space of Snowman. Yampi needs to be careful against the judge.
It's all a game of chance. One body shot from Yampi would be enough, and it looks like he's going to full clear Garage the opposite way around here. As Woot is resolute. Oh, the reload! His positioning favours in the end. Profek with work to do and getting his hands dirty! Profek! Quad kill, and Heretics' chances evaporate before our very eyes. So much work from Woot done there. I mean, it felt unfortunate for Yampi, but Profek has done his job, and he'll get an ace for his troubles.
And that was the buy round for Heretics as well. BBL carried through that by Profek. And after the initial push being denied by Heretics and doing so well there.
It's one of the differences that you see as well with having Profek on the Viper here instead of the Omen. It's sociable given the license to get aggressive and have that partnership with Levin rather than Profek, which we're expecting on later maps. And when he's there as your closer, incredibly effective.
Right here.
And this 7-round streak of rounds now built up by BBL, staring down Heretics in similar fashion to when they played here last.
Brute forcing their way through, but is that the right idea? Because Heretics, once again, managed to find themselves just ahead of BBL.
Clearance from Yampi in the site, but as you say, there's an advantage in numbers here for Heretics and players, bodies up close.
And well, the fight's not going their way either. BBL maybe a little bit too disrespectful to Los Niños.
Toxin screen down.
But it couldn't be Profek once again. 35 points of health. One sheriff shot would be enough. And they know exactly where he is.
Toxin screen down.
Do a disservice as Rian's revealing Profek for multiple times in the round. But yeah, just as BBL were on course to best their effort last time around, even after the 11-1 half of a 13-5 scoreline against Heretics, it looks like back on track. But Profek, surely not. That's the first.
Trigger discipline.
How many more does he want? Not going to get it.
20 seconds left. Rien's looking to try and support Woot here. He's only got a sheriff. Remember, one bullet is enough. I can't believe you're still doubting the fact that this is winnable. That shows you how good Profek actually is.
Just breaks all conventions. Someone we want to see against international great opposition. Pace safeguard thrifty for Heretics though, still continuing to prove that they can be deadly round on round. And
let's go!
After that one, with BB down to a mixed investment of their own, it makes you wonder, how many more of these until we start to call into the question the potential for a comeback? Because the Heretics of the past, when they went behind, they stayed behind. But the one big change we've noticed from their group stage so far in stage 2 is that the mental fortitude feels a lot stronger. There's just something different about this team.
Yeah, and I think the big one is maturity, right? The fact that they're able to play off one another, the fact that they're able to pick each other up from bad performances. Remember where the spike is, this is just two players on the hunt for kills at the moment, and Miniboot has identified both.
Do have to hang on for just a sec. You remember the game that we've been watching, right? Like,
yeah, but come on. Heretics, there's no way that they're going to allow BBL to win this round.
Well, let's find out together. As we can see, Magnum making moves towards B, and Profek certainly giving off some sound. Footfall towards middle. Mini-Boo here again.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, there's the next one gone. Magnum did win half of all clutches attempted yesterday.
But that is a little easier when you've only had 4 attempts, I suppose. But yeah, those 2 clutches, huge in influencing the direction of a series. This one would just feel more like a backbreaker. And I tell you what, Magnum, be an ace if he could do it. Get the plant in here. Not on the lockdown just yet, they're going to peek him. Oh, Magnum! Gave us half a chance, but 4 will not be enough.
Yeah, a little bit of a heart jump there, you know, mini arrhythmia. But yeah, well played by Heretics all in. Mini-Boo just looks brilliant. And with that being said, we look towards the next rifle rounds, right? 11-6, the scoreline. Starting to get closer. And with an 11-7 equal, you look at it being within 3 rounds after this rifle round win. And Woot's even got his op out, so I don't think that BBL are in the greatest of spots right now.
And it's the Heretics comeback paired with the classic BBL get to 11 rounds, and what do you do from there? Sociable has an answer here, and it's the op removed.
Mini-Boo, aggressive on B long. This is what you expect of this Euro. To be on an aggressive line and with a TP out towards Snowman, but that's going to expire soon.
First half wasn't the best depiction of his abilities, but here, fancying his chances a little better. The TP is left late, gambled on the angle, punished by Levin. Now BBL in a position of serious authority.
That lockdown's going to earmark the space for BBL to move into.
I have to say though, 2 shocks and a Hunter's Fury on Rians. Might want to give this a go at least in delaying, because BBL aren't the quickest in the uptake.
And you know Riens has the lineups as well. And well, that's exactly what BBL have done. Tapped the spike, got out. Levin has been forfeited though in the meantime. And it's starting to get low. And there's not a whole lot of utility here for BBL when you look at the belts.
Has Sociable been heard? That's the question. Oh, Benji overlooks it, but the flick makes up for the whole situation, and now it's a 3-on-3.
This is getting worrying. Having to deposit the Viper's Pit as well. BBL are pushing everything to this.
Magnum in the corner, does find one back, but he's estranged, out on an island, trying to shovel his way out of trouble, and puts Benji in the sand instead. On ice, Heretics hanging in there for their final chance before map point. Rian's trying to do so much in this situation, but it is rigged from the start. Magnum at the triple, and with that, BBL move on to map point on their pick.
They knew that this was an important round to win. That's why all the ultimates were pushed to the middle of the field. And well, on top of that, Yampi is actually one off his Hunter's Fury. And it seems like Heretics have seen enough here. Weber and Neil want to introduce themselves for one last time in Icebox and give some semblance of a comeback here.
Heretics, when you look towards champions and what it is, what it means to be at those events and to make it all the way to the very top, you have to be thinking about still performing even when you're not having your best game. And right now, looking at the score sheets, everyone's sort of on par. There's just a couple of details maybe missing that seem to be the problem for me. And I go back to the quote from before that Boo gave us, that in terms of their grievances coming out of Toronto, they were waiting for something to happen, to make a play or a call to be correct. That was more for the attack side. I think here on the defense, it's so hard to set that tone, especially against BBL.
Yeah, I mean, BBL are always one of the teams that go and like to be setting the pacing of the game, right? We've seen that all throughout this map. How Heretics find themselves comfortable for the next couple of rounds, if they're even able to get by this one, it's another question entirely. They have plenty more maps to be comfortable on, like your Ascents, like your Havens. We know that they're good on that. Icebox just seems like a problem that Heretics can't solve at the moment.
current problem may not be such an issue later on, but as it stands, BBL in this position looking to drive it home. It was a pace change which they threatened through mid, not an area of the map that we've seen them explore all too much up until now, but Heretics, these few weeks of practice that they've had to build Icebox back into the pool still feels like an issue in the veto process between these two. With the amount of times we've seen it crop up in their head-to-head.
This is now starting to look like a fair few bodies towards this side of the map. You saw Boo starting to move over just for a second, but
BBL are scaling, and as much as we talk about a pace change, you can go for that quick injection through mid at the start, but now we're about to hit the 30-second mark, and Heretics still have bodies in backside.
They do. Levin is the one leading the charge. The dash about to expire, and Updraft instead and gets a kill for it. Yampi doing even better. BBL look to be on the final charge to win out Icebox. The first map against Heretics, like they did in the last series that they played against them, but not as if there was some resistance. But it's futile. BBL know exactly what it takes to win out against Heretics on Icebox, and there's just one more target to find. It's Benji Fishy.
Lockdown in play though, makes things interesting. Denied by Yampi, that's one less.
And well, Sociable gone as well. Surely not, Benji. A player that could show up but doesn't here. BBL win map number 1.
As they did the last time these two faced, their first map win in all 4 meetings that we've seen in VCT. They've done it again, but now with a couple more opportunities to take down their second top 3 team in the last 48 hours or so would be the absolute difference maker on that push towards Paris. We'll have to see if they can on the other side of this break.